industry fill the void. For the past 9 months, the Trump administration has been twisting the arms of CEOs to promise funding for worker education and training. And so far, more than 200 companies have signed on, with Toyota being the latest.
Toyota signed our pledge to America's workers for 100,000 enhanced career opportunities, apprenticeship, new jobs, new development, workforce training. I think James was a little bit inspired, and he's just increased that commitment to 200,000, which is unbelievably exciting.
The American worker is great. The Kentucky worker is greater still.
Does government have a role? Absolutely. But is it to define what the workforce looks like? No. If the state were to develop a program for Toyota's workers of the future, it would be a failure. Telling you straight up. Toyota knows what Toyota needs.
But the risk, perhaps, is a reliance on a company that isn't, owned by you and me like the government is. It's owned by shareholders. Is there a problem with having a private response to a public problem?
Who has more of a vested interest in getting this right? The government or the private company?
Well,
The private company does. It is in the best interest of a Toyota or any other company to train the best quality people, pay them as much as possible, give them the standard of living and the quality of life that makes them want to come and retire 20, 30, 40 years later from the very same company.
it's in the company's interest until it isn't. And the thing about a company is, we don't elect their executives, but we elect our government officials.
Yeah, but the idea that we're going to rely on government and elected people to come up with rules for training people for jobs that you will volitionally want to buy the products of is crazy.
Under the pledge, they're promising 200,000 new opportunities.
They're promising to reskill and retrain 200,000 people.
So
They
what-
have the capacity to do that.
What happens if they break the promise?
Again, they're going to do their. Can you mandate that government does it?
If they don't do it, it's not like we're going to not reelect their CEO. If they don't do it, they might have some bad publicity. They might, people might not.
You think it won't affect their CEO? Here's what happens. If they don't do it, if they're not making these investments, there's not a chance that they survive.
This is Landon and Tim, two buddies who work together at the Toyota factory. Tim's just retired, but Landon sees himself working at Toyota for decades. It must be kind of nice to at least know that, at a high level, they're thinking about your jobs, the things that you guys do, the opportunities that you guys have. Does that strike you that way?
With Ivanka, I just looked and said, okay, it's PR.
Do people want to be reskilled?
If the job depended on it and they know it's coming, I would say sure. Yes.
It would be, depending on your personal circumstances, that could be very hard because if you work, a full shift and you have a family, you may only have an hour or two of free time a day. Are you supposed to go drive to a training facility and spend a few hours a day there before you go to your shift, work your shift?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think very many people would do that.
Do you guys like your job, or do you like working there?
You go, Timmy.
I actually love my job.
Yeah.
Because I've always loved working on cars. So my job was pretty much up my alley.
There are parts of my job that I like.
Mm-hmm.
It's you're creating something. There's no way it could exist without someone putting it together. So, yeah, I have a wife and 2 daughters.
Right.
I want to spend as much time with them as I can.
Mm-hmm.
They're young and they're not going to stay young for long. And I hate missing the time I miss with them at work already. I just want to spend as much time as I can with them. And I want to retire. That's the goal.
For people in the workforce today, reskilling boils down to doing more work just to keep up. To Andrew Yang, a former job creation specialist and now long-shot presidential candidate, the spotlight on reskilling hides a larger imbalance between the goals of workers and the goals of their employers.
We are so brainwashed by the market that otherwise intelligent, well-meaning people will legitimately say we should retrain the coal miners to be coders.
Yep.
We are trained to think that we have no value unless the market says that there's a need for what we do. And so if coal miners now have zero value, then the thought process is, oh, we have to turn them into something that does have value. What has value? Coders. And then 12 years from now, AI is going to be able to do basic coding anyway.
Sure.
So this is a race we will not win. It's the goalposts are going to move the whole time on us.
What are the solutions? Like, what are you proposing?
We start issuing a dividend to all American adults starting at age 18, where everyone gets $1,000 a month.